a faculty development program. Here we are going to learn how to manage our life, how to manage our destiny. So today we are having most respected Swami Buddhadevananda Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj. So he will enlighten us about science, spirituality, and self-transcendent emotions. So Pranam Maharaj, with your due permission, I am requesting you to start the program.
Okay. It is my pleasure for having participated in this conclave organized by NIT Rourkela, where I can share my study with learned faculties. Subject is science and spirituality. When I say a good morning to you, I am a scientist because I believe that this universe is real, and my wishing will make your morning fine. But it is not the approach of mystics. Mystic will say that let the morning be good for you all by the grace of God, because they believe that this universe is not real. It is the reflection, or it is the projection of a power which controls everything in order, or keeps everything in order. So science is realistic and mysticism is idealistic. Science is of this world and spirituality is of other world. Science is on experiment. Spirituality is on faith. Science gives stress on concentration, whereas mystics give stress on meditation. Let these two streams mingle together for a better world is the subject today. So it will take time. Of course, there is plenty of time, enough time, 2 hours we have to discuss on this subject. I will touch all the issues of this comparative study of spirituality and science in various ways, from a Newtonian concept of world to quantum mechanism, and how the spirituality, science as well, is coming to one point, that is unity of existence. So let me start one by one. I'm making my video off so that audio will be fine. Our topic today is science and spirituality, and how we can transcend our mind from material level to that of spiritual realm with the strength of reason and intellectual conviction. With the help of science, we can achieve intellectual conviction, which is a powerful tool to make ourselves free from all types of superstition and blind faith. With a free mind, we can start our search to unveil the mystery of creation. So we can find out what is the power behind this universe that maintains everything in order. The power which keeps everything in perfect rhythm with perfect symmetry. What is that power that creates symmetry to beautify the nature? What is the meaning of our life and what is the meaning of our death, what is the mystery, we can find out with the help of science and mysticism as well. These are the questions. When these questions comes in our mind, whether he or she is a scientist or mystic or a common man, will have to change the stream of life. Our Upanishad says, Parikshalokan karma chitan brahman nirvedam ayata nastakrita kritena tad vijnanartham guru mevabhi gachat srotriyam brahmanishtam. The meaning is, after having examined the world life in every ways, and after having fulfilled all worldly desires, an aspirant get disgusted with this world and finally goes in search of a spiritual master for true wisdom. This is Parikshalokan Karmachitan. First, we have to examine the world and taste everything, what is there in this name and frame. So, after that, when one gets disgusted of this world, she goes to a master who can show a new path, which is inward journey to understand the truth which is lying in our inner self. Sri Ramakrishna could not believe that anyone who is struggling within this framework of Maya. What is Maya? Maya is time, space, and causation. Any person who is suffering within this time, space, and causation framework could be a non-believer of God. He could not believe that. Everyone should believe in God because he is in the creation. Having in the creation, how one can deny the creator? So he believes everyone is a theist. We say this atheist means who is non-believer of God. Theist means a believer of God. Sri Ramakrishna was a mystic of world size. Sri Ramakrishna was a mystic of world size for all time. In him we find conglomeration of all spiritual ideas. Why I say this? Because Sri Ramakrishna is a mystic who can satisfy the question or yearning of all. As the Roma Rola said, Sri Ramakrishna is a splendid symphony of universal soul. Splendid symphony of universal soul. The music which is ringing in our mind, in everybody's mind, all over the world. His or her tune will get union with Sri Ramakrishna. Because Sri Ramakrishna is universal symphony of, he is a symphony of universal soul. So he contains every one of us. Whatever music we may have, every one of us, it will tune with Sri Ramakrishna. He is a world-size mystic. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that if you look at the creation, it is so wonderful. So, question will arise in your mind that who is the creator? Whenever we look at the world, this is one of the way of elevating our mind. Whenever we will see something marvel in the universe, suppose it is vast ocean, or it is nebula, or it is a sky full of stars, everything wonderful when we see in this universe, we should connect our feelings with the Creator, so that I will be associated with the Creator. Always try to associate with the Creator whenever you see anything wonderful in this creation, whatever it may be. Once, a devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, his name is Pratap Chandra Majumdar, a famous person, a scholar. Having returned from America, he went to America and returned to India. After having returned to India, he came to meet Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna asked Majumdar about what he has seen in that country. You see, Sri Ramakrishna was so much cautious about all over the world what is happening. So he asked what you have seen in that country, in that America. In reply, Majumdar said that people there are very much materialistic. Sri Ramakrishna replied, yes, it is the initial stage of every civilization. All the civilization, we have started from materialism, then to spiritualism. It is nothing harm. It is nothing wrong that they are materialistic. But what else? Then Majumdar said, they follow the path of science. Mr. Majumdar said to Sri Ramakrishna, they follow the path of science. They believe in energy, which is the source of creation. In reply, Sri Ramakrishna said, that is very nice. It is good that they admit that there is some power behind this creation. So verily they are theists. Verily they are believers of God. Even if science believes in energy and matter and Big Bang and Big Crunch, anything, they are believers of God. This is the certificate of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The science and spirituality are two different paths of exploring knowledge to break the mystery of creation. The path is different, but goal is one. Both the schools of learning is to unveil the mystery of creation and to know the fundamental reality. Mystics are introvert and scientists are extrovert. Science is exerting through their experiment to find out the smallest entity of material world and the smallest entity in microbiological organism. The process is still going on. Mystics, the limitation of our minds, to look at different paths, surpassing the mind to find out the inner self, that is, who is the viewer, who is the true observer. Is it a consciousness or it is a void? Sometimes other mystics like Buddhism and transcendental meditator, they sometimes say it is shunya, it is void. But we are Vedantists, we say no, it is consciousness, it is full of joy, it is absolute bliss. So there are various type of meditation too. So mystics means our sages, ancient sages, mystics realized another truth. Swami Vivekananda told, the microcosm and macrocosm are built on the same plan, just as the individual soul is encased in a living body, so is the universal soul in the living Prakriti, nature, the objective universe. So there are two universe. One is projected universe, outer projection, another is inner projection. So our body, mind, intellect, and prana, the vital energy, and behind that is the viewer, observer, the consciousness, the spark of consciousness. It is called microcosm. Similarly, the outer, what we say, the Vedanta say it is Virata, means the body of God. In this outer manifestation is in the same plan, behind the outer manifestation is the ideas. That is the cosmic intelligence. As we have the idea in our mind, in our intellect, so God also full of ideas. That is called cosmic intelligence, which we say God or Ishvara or Bhagavan, whatever it may be. So cosmic intelligence creates this outer manifestation. And behind that is the substratum. Behind that cosmic intelligence is the substratum, means the consciousness, pure consciousness. So pure consciousness is behind this outer manifestation, and it is behind our micro existence. So behind this both microcosm and macrocosm is the same pure consciousness existed as substratum of the creation. From the time immemorial, mankind started their journey in various ways to unveil the mystery of cosmos, mystery of life and death. Physical science started their journey externally in our outer manifestation of cosmos to find out the origin of creation and creature. The search is still going on by the scientists. The mystics started their journey by unfolding the inner nature to find out the substratum of our existence. Apparently, it seems to be two separate paths, but finally, these two schools, science and mysticism, arrived at a common platform in 19th century. Newtonian concept of universe is replaced by quantum mechanism. Quantum mechanism is a wonderful discovery, which is the turning point of science. Swami Vivekananda says, the Vedantist mystics, Vedanta is the oldest philosophy of India. Mahamuni Kopil is father of Indian philosophy. The Vedantist has proved beyond all doubt that the mind is limited. Our mystics, they have discovered that our mind, capacity of our mind is limited, that it cannot go beyond certain limits. This mind cannot go beyond time, space, and causality, as no man can jump out of his own self. No man can jump out of his own self, is the utterance of Swami Vivekananda. So no man can go beyond the limits that have been put upon him by the laws of time and space. This limitation is being felt by mystics, scientists as well. Mystics understood it, scientists understood it after having discovered quantum, the behavior of subatomic particles, which do not follow any law. Mystics holds that true reality lies beyond the physical world. The truth is in the spiritual realm, and truth of cosmos can be realized only through inner experience, is the narratives of mystics. Because Kopil, Mahamuni Kopil, he realized that our mind and intellect is very gross. It cannot enter into the minutest reality of the creation. So they took the path of inward. Let us go back to our inner self to discover the reality. So one is outer journey, another is inner journey. Scientists and mystics. The word religion has a Latin root, religare. Religion is a word which has a Latin root, means religare, means to bind strongly. The meaning of religion is bind strongly. The Hindu word dharma, we use the word dharma, also represents similar meaning from the root dri. Dharma comes from the root, Sanskrit root dri. Dri means dharayati iti dharma, means which holds all of us together, which holds together. So meaning of religion and meaning of dharma is same, which holds everything together. Science too says that everything in this universe is interrelated. It is the quantum mechanism says. Everything is within a magnetic field. They named it unified field theory. The scientist presents a holographic model of universe. It is the latest concept of universe. So we all are interrelated. Every atom, every particle, every cell of our body, every stars, a nebula, whatever you see in this universe is interrelated. It is within a unified field. The theory says it is a unified field theory. Now, question is, science and spirituality admits solidarity of universe. So there is no conflict between religion and science. Now, question is this, that the power that holds us together is sentient or insentient? That is the question. Mystics say it is consciousness, it is verily sentient, but scientists are not in a position to answer that power is sentient or insentient. Which one is correct? Mystic view of universe or scientist view of universe is subject to verification. The time will say. Now, I would like to quote from Upanishads about the query of sages. And side by side, I will quote Stephen Hawking from his book, Brief History of Time. Stephen Hawking is a scientist of this age, and sages of Upanishads are 5,000 years old. But I will quote the utterances, I will quote the urge, I will quote the questions of these two. The sages of 5,000 years old in India and the scientists of modern age, Mr. Stephen Hawking. We would find the essence of this query is the same. Swami Vivekananda said, the end and aim of all science is to find the unity, the one out of which the manifold is being manufactured, that one existing as many. This is the goal of science. This is the goal of mysticism. I read again the utterance of Swami Vivekananda. The end and aim of all science is to find the unity, the one out of which the manifold is being manufactured, that one existing as many. Upanishad says, I would like to narrate two quotations, one from Upanishad and another from the book of Stephen Hawking's Brief History of Time. First, the Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad says, Kim karanam brahma kutasma jata keno jiva kiva cha sampratishtha, like that. So, keno adhisthitaha. So, these are the questions of the sages of Vedic age. The English of it, I say, is Brahma, the consciousness is cause of the universe. Whence are we born? By what do we live? Where is our final rest? Who can know the Brahma? Under whose guidance we abide by the law of happiness and misery? This is a question of a sage. Kim karanam Brahma. If consciousness is the cause of the universe, Kim karanam means, is it a material cause or it is an efficient cause? Whence are we born? We came from where? By what do we live? By which power? By the guidance of which power? By motivation of which power we move in this universe? And on whom we rest? So these are the questions. And how we can know that Brahman, under whose guidance we abide by the law of happiness and misery. We are bound to follow the law of time, space, and causation. Why? Why we cannot surpass this time, space, and condition? Why we are in this ignorance? This is a question of the sage of Mundaka Upanishad. The same question is asked by Stephen Hawking. He says in his book, Brief History of Time, we find ourselves in a bewildering world. We want to make sense of what we see around us and to ask, what is the nature of the universe? What is our place in it? And where did it and we come from? Why is it the way it is? See, it is a similar question by Stephen Hawking. He says we are bewildering in this world. Like a stranger, we are moving in this world. We can't find out in the meaning of it, meaning of this everything what we see. We cannot find out the meaning of our life. It is a question. We want to make sense of what we see around us. We want to make sense of it. Stephen Hawking is telling around us, but we cannot. What is the nature of the universe? What is the nature of the universe? Whether it is static or it is dynamic, whether it is real or whether it is delusion. This is the question of Stephen Hawking. What is the nature of the universe? What is our place in it? What for we have come to this world? To find out the truth or to follow the trodden path? What is our place in it? And where did it and we come from? Where from this creation has come to existence? Where from we have come? We have come to existence as a being, as a human being, as a creature. This is a question of Stephen Hawking. Where did it, or means this creation, where it was, and it has come from where? What is our place and where did it and we come from? Why is it the way it is? We cannot change the law of time, space, and condition. It is the question of Stephen Hawking. Why is it the way it is? Can we change the law of the nature? We cannot. We follow it, just we follow it. So now we see the similarity of the questioners. One is the sages of olden age, Vedic age, and another is a scientist of modern age. The question, the query is same. Our ancient sages got the answer of it, whereas science is still struggling. Vivekananda said in one of his lectures in America, Swami Vivekananda, he said about the sages. Sages, in their inquiry into their principle, the Hindu thinkers were as bold and in some cases much bolder than the moderns, means modern scientists. They made some of the grandest generalizations that have yet been reached, and some still remain as theories, which modern science has yet to get even as theories. Discoveries of modern science is an echo of what the sages long years back realized and proclaimed in this universe. For instance, they not only arrived at the ether theory, and ether theory is the latest theory. Ether theory, it is a field is a magnetic field. The ether theory has been discovered by sages long years back. Sages went beyond and classified mind also as a still more rarefied ether. What is how you say mind? Mind is also a finest material. It is matter. It is not consciousness. Beyond that is the consciousness. Mind is living, mind is functioning by the help of consciousness. The sages has proved beyond all doubt that the mind is limited, that it cannot go beyond certain limits, beyond time, space, and causation. As no man can jump out of his own self, so no man can go beyond the limits that have been put upon him by the laws of time and space. This limitation of mind has been discovered by the sages long years back. So, our sages, they say the limitation of mind. They say in the Upanishad, Paranchikhani vetrinat swayambhu yasmat parang pasyati nantaratman kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam ekshata abrita chakshuhu amritattam ichan. It is in Katha Upanishad. It is said that Swayambhu is self-existent creator. Swayambhu. No one is there beyond that consciousness. It's called Swayambhu, the self-existent creator, created our senses outgoing. He has created our five senses outward, so that we see the outer world, outer manifestation. One see only the outside and not the self, that is Atman, within. But Kaschid dhiraha, some meditative persons, that mystics, with his senses turned away, when we take our senses inward, our mind inward, meditative, when we will become meditative. So mystics, they become meditative, means they turn the five senses inward and make the mind thoughtless. They stop the function of intellect and wants to know the innermost consciousness, who is the observer or viewer of the universe through mind, intellect, and senses. So, mystic, with his senses turned away from their object, desirous of immortality. See the Atman within. So, this is the quotation of Katha Upanishad. So, I told the mystics are introvert and scientists are extrovert. So, mystics concentrating their minds upon the innermost essence or the consciousness behind our psychophysical phenomena, mystics' view is this, that if we can know who the observer is, then what will happen? The ignorance in between observer and observation is removed. Whenever we see something through the media of our intellect, mind, and senses, we distort the very essence of the thing. So mystic says, the direct perception, not through any media, not through mind, not through intellect, not by the help of senses. See the self in the self. Swami Vivekananda says, human soul is a circle whose circumference is nowhere, but center is in the body. And God is a circle whose circumference is nowhere, but center is in everywhere. So there is no difference between our soul and universal soul. Only thing is, our soul, our consciousness, circumference is nowhere. We are infinite, but center is only in the body. We understand only our body, the function of our mind, of our intellect, of our body. This is the ignorance. We have limited our soul, though it is all pervading. God also a circle, as a soul also a circle without circumference, God also a circle without circumference, but center is in everywhere. So God knows every particle, God knows everybody's soul, God is all pervading. He knows everything because his center is everywhere. This is the difference between man and God. We both, God and man, is all pervading. My soul also all pervading, your soul also all pervading, no circumference. But ignorantly, my center is only in my body. Your center is only in your body. But God is free of ignorance, so his center is everywhere. Science deals with external nature, whereas mystics deal with inner nature. Science deals with macrocosm, whereas spirituality deals with microcosm. So, macro and micro. When we see the outer manifestation, the world before us, we make sense of it according to capacity of our mind. When we see some object, it is already superimposed by our mind. When we see something, what we do, we superimpose our preconceived notion, our impression of our mind, our idea, we superimpose upon what we see. So we see actually our mind outside. That is the problem. So actually we see our own mind outside. For example, suppose there is a painting. I cite an example. Suppose there is a painting or a picture of a great artist. When we look at it, we would not able to understand the original beauty and original idea of that great artist. Rather, we would grasp according to our capacity of mind, our capacity of artistic skill. So, if we see a picture of a great artist, we all will understand according to our skill, our artistic skill, our idea we did. We will not understand in its wholeness, in its fullness, the original vision of that great artist. Because we limit that painting by our own mind. The creation is the ideas displayed by the great artist whose code name is God. The cosmic intelligence, where all ideas are there. In Vedantic term, it is Shaguna Brahma, or God, or Ishvara. The cosmic intelligence, If we are to understand the wholeness of the art of creation, we'll have to be one with God. We have to commune with God. Then only we'll understand the wholeness of it. Bhuma, we say Bhuma, means wholeness, fullness of it. This is the view of mystics. So now we have to understand whether God or the Creator is extra-cosmic or immanent. So immanent means intrinsic, and extra-cosmic is like when a machine works, a mechanism, there is a mechanics, there is an operator. But in the organism, there is no operator. It moves itself. Science is not sure of their observation because they do not know who is observer. Who observer is, science do not know. So they experiment by their apparatus. They take the help of their intellect, mind, and senses. Science investigates through media, be it a apparatus or human organs. The observer has rather only the function of keeping record in space and time with the help of an apparatus or a human being. With these observations, we cannot arrive at any conclusion. Any observation that we make with the help of apparatus or with the help of our body, mind, or senses are not the reality. Any observation through any media is not the reality, because reality is infinite. Whenever we bind it by our mind, bind it by our intellect, it becomes distorted. The power of our senses, power of our mind and intellect is limited. As Newton used to say, that we are in the seashore, in the beach of ocean, suppose. The sea of knowledge, whole universe before us is the ocean of knowledge. Newton used to say, ocean of knowledge. Then in the sea beach, if we want to catch fish, what we'll do? We have to spread our fishing net in the water of the sea. We have to try to study together to explore knowledge by our limited intellect. The limited intellect is the fishing net. So we have to spread our fishing net in the water of the sea. Then what will happen? The fishes which are larger than the net would not fall into the net. Giant fishes we can't catch with the fishing net. Giant fishes. As now the scientist could not understand, could not find out what is black hole, what is nebula, what is galaxy. They could not, because these are giant fishes. Because our intellect is small. In my fish, with that fishing net, I cannot catch the giant fishes, which is bigger than my net. And another thing will happen, that is, those are smaller fishes in size would escape through the holes of the net. The smaller fishes will escape through the holes of my net. That also will not fall in my net of intellect. That's why we are struggling against a virus which is so small. We can't combat with it. We do not know what is happening in subatomic particles. It is behaved sometimes like wave, sometimes like particle. We can't enter into that particle world. It is so small. With sophisticated apparatus, we can't catch the movements of these small particles. So our net, it is a Newton's example. The fishing in the ocean with a net, smaller fishes will escape, giant fishes will not come into our net. So truth is beyond the relative world. Upanishad says the limitation of our mind. Yato vacho nivartante aprapa manasasaha means from that threshold of the absolute, the speech along with the mind rebounds, returns. Yato vacho means speech. Nivartante, bound. Aprapya manasasaha, without having the knowledge of absolute. Mind returns, speech returns, intellect fades. Truth, the reality is beyond the relative world. I quote from the book Turning Point by Fritjof Capra, an American renowned scientist. In his book, The Turning Point, Fritjof Capra says, as stirred thought has begun to interest a significant number of people, and meditation is no longer viewed with ridicule or suspicion. Mysticism is being taken seriously even within the scientific community. See, scientists are also now turning as a mystic. Physics becoming metaphysics. It is the utterance of a scientist, not a mystic. It is Mr. Capra telling in his book Turning Point. I quote again. As Eastern thought has begun to interest a significant number of people. Eastern thought influence number of people. And meditation is no longer viewed with ridicule or suspicion. Meditation is admitted by scientists. Again he says, Capra says, mysticism is being taken seriously even within the scientific community. Scientists too now interest to sit in a meditation to know the truth, because they are not able to understand the bigger, the huge creation, the outer manifestation, and the smallest micro particles, whether it is subatomic particles or it is gene, chromosome, or genome map, etc. Impossible. Scientific research is also going on, no doubt, to unveil the mystery of life. It is difficult for science to analyze the external universe by the help of sense perception and reasoning. Scientists too are now interested to know the underlying truth of these external universe. In their journey, they travel from the lower truth to the higher truth through continuous modernization in instrumentation and sophisticated experiments. In this journey, they are bound to shift from objective criteria to subjective ones and admitted the unification of the observer with the observed. Observer is involved in observation. As I will see, it will reveal according to my wish. Because I superimpose my mind, my intellect upon the observation. How I can get the result? I will see my mind outside, my intellect outside. Unity of existence is the truth, whether it is internal or external. Outer manifestation is the projection of ideas by cosmic intelligence, what we call God, with attribute, and behind our body, mind complex is the inner soul. Behind our body-mind complex, behind our body, mind, and intellect is the inner soul. And behind this outer manifestation is the consciousness as a substratum. There is a common substratum underlying the whole creation, whether it is outer world or inner world. So, this is in brief, the journey of mystics and the scientists. Common goal of science and spirituality is to find out the ultimate reality of creation. I'll give you an example. Suppose there is a beautiful table with design and architecture. A beautiful table with design and architecture. Now, how it has come into existence? What is the material cause of the table? And what is the efficient cause of the table? The material cause of the table is wood, timber. An efficient cause of it is a carpenter. A carpenter who is a conscious being with ideas. The carpenter in the form of ideas percolated in the body of the table. So, goal of science and spirituality is to find out the material cause and efficient cause of the creation and creature. What is the efficient cause and what is the material cause? Whether God is extra cosmic, whether the creator, the power is extra cosmic, outside the cosmos, or it is immanent, means in the cosmos, percolated in the cosmos. Creator, which is conscious being, is extra cosmic or immanent, is the question. The view of science is that the efficient cause is extra cosmic. Science, they do not know, they do not believe in God, which means efficient cause, whatever it may be, is ever separated from the creation. Is the Newtonian theory. This world is a machine, mechanism. The view of Eastern spirituality is this, that efficient cause is not extra cosmic, but verily immanent. That is, material cause and efficient cause is intertwined. Material cause and efficient cause is intertwined according to the Indian philosophy. According to Eastern spirituality, whole creation is created, sustained, and destroyed by cosmic intelligence, the God. Upanishad says tat srishtva anupravishata. Tat srishtva tat anupravishata. After having created, the creator, the consciousness percolated into the creation. Now let us try to understand what is the difference between mechanism and organism. We have to understand whether the whole world is inert or it is conscious. It is insentient or it is sentient. This is the question. So, what is the difference between mechanism and organism? An organ has intrinsic power to function, whereas the mechanism has to be in function by a mechanics, by a operator. This is the difference between mechanism and organism. A machine is controlled by an operator, whereas an organism is in function by its intrinsic power. A machine will function as it is designed, but an organism can change its character. A machine cannot. A machine will produce the similar product unless and until the operator changes. In the case of machine, operator is different. He is outside the machine as an operator. So if the whole universe is a machine, God is outside the creation as an operator. But what is the organism? So a machine will function as it is designed by the mechanics. But an organism can change its character. The best example is our coronavirus, suppose, in the present day. It is an organ, it is a DNA, it is a RNA, there is protein, there is carbon. This coronavirus, it can mutate. It can change its character. Who is controlling this? We have to find out another antivirus, another antibody to fight with it. We have to discover another organ to fight with it. Because this organ, which is living, this virus is living, so it can mutate, it can change its character. The mechanism cannot. This is the difference between mechanism and organism. Now, question is this, that whether the creation is a machine operated by God as an extra cosmic being, or the creation is an organism and God is immanent functionary within it. Science admits the oneness of the creation as a hollow movement or unified field. Now it is a theory by the science. After quantum theory has been discovered, that every particle is interrelated and it is a wave. So it is a cosmic dance. Science says that it is a cosmic dance. So science also believes now the creation is a hollow movement, holistic. It is a unified field. At this point of particle physics, science is in dilemma. Science is in dilemma, not in a position to answer whether creation is sentient or insentient. But our sages confirmed by their realization that the creation is verily sentient and creator is immanent functionary of cosmos. Consciousness or Brahman or the cosmic intelligence is percolated, incorporated in the creation as a operator, not extra cosmic, it is immanent. Swami Vivekananda says, all the various forms of cosmic energy, such as matter, thought energy, force, intelligence,